So I'm making this video to talk about reptilian hosts on Facebook on social media, and I was going through Facebook and I seen I see a lot of weird shit on my feeds, especially like Native American pages that really like to they're not real Native American pages because these pages are ran by reptilians or some sort of Masonic white person or black person trying to whitewash or blackwash Native American culture, history. But anyways though, so a lot of these pages like to race bait. They like to try to either whitewash Native Americans or blackwash. I've been seeing a lot of blackwashing lately of these Afrocentrics, a lot of them being Freemasons and reptilians, trying to really tie Native American culture in with that Afrocentric fucking bullshit. Anyways, though, I saw this image of a bunch of Native Americans flipping off Mount Rushmore, and I happen to look in the comments and I see this woman here saying, I don't understand why Native Americans hate the founding fathers so much, hate Mount Rushmore. And it said something really stupid like that. And it should be obvious, to why Native Americans don't like, the United States government. I just thought it was a really weird thing for a Native American to say. So I had to look at her profile and just because these types of Native Americans are not common. And you have three types. You have, the type of Native American that tries to, lean on the blackwashing side of history. They go along with these Afrocentrics and some of the shit they say. And then you got, the other type of Native American on the far right that tries to go with, what white people are saying, and they try to whitewash, Native American culture. And then you got most Native Americans. And most Native Americans are the ones in between that don't care about fucking the woke agenda, that don't care about these racial politics or anything like that. They just want to live in their reservations on their own land. They want to stick and cling to their old ways, to their own culture. They don't care about assimilating into white culture. They don't care about the Afrocentric bullshit. They just want to live life on their own terms. That's it. So when I see one of these Native Americans that are on the blackwashing side or on the whitewashing, right away, my reptilian radar really goes off, and I tend to think these people are hosts. So I checked out this girl's profile picture, to get a better idea of who she is. Because they say, the eyes are the windows to the soul. Well, art and the way you express yourself through art is the expression of the soul. So, her her albums on her Facebook. And first image here is her in purple. So, as you can see, she has a picture showing herself engulfed in purple light. Purple represents the hidden realm, the astral, the realm in between the physical and the metaphysical. So this tells me she's not a biological host, not like the type Donald Marshall talks about when it comes to the real, but an interdimensional host, one who is being hosted by a spiritual entity. Physically, this entity would reside in a parallel universe. This is my idea, my theory. Could be wrong here. So, I'm not trying to assert anything as 100%. But the astral realm represents the world in between our universe and another. Through the astral, or the fourth dimension, can you traverse the multiverse? Songs like the Purple People Eater, the old novelty song that came out in the 1950s, talks about, shed some light on this. The interdimensional reptilians, purple, hidden realm, one eye representing the one eye system of the Norse god Odin. In order to gain power inside this matrix, you have to sell part of yourself, sacrifice a part of yourself, a part of your soul. In Odin's case, it was one eye. It was one of his eyes. And the eye, the eyes, the windows of the soul. So he sold part of his soul in order to gain power inside this matrix. Odin represents the ultimate Freemason, the ultimate sellout. These interdimensional reptilians can only operate through a system that has humanity cut off from occult power and knowledge. Third eye blind. In the land of the blind, the one-eyed man is king. Purple people eater. Well, these reptilian hosts are known to eat babies and humans behind closed doors. Child trafficking, Mexican drug cartels are ran by reptilians, and they're all about cannibalism too. Human baby farms ran by the elites, underground bases where they eat humans at, etc., etc. Also, another song by the singer Prince called "Purple Rain." Going to show, again, this is, they're trying to tell you, what's going on here. Rain represents suffering. The phonetic word for rain is rain. The phonetic word for rain, R-A-I-N, is rain, R-E-I-G-N, to rule over someone. Humanity being ruled from the astral realm by aliens that cause much rain to humanity. Reign over humanity. And yeah, you get the point. So then there's this picture here, which I really thought was interesting. The picture of her holding a golden pine cone to her mouth, which represents the pineal, seat of the human soul, where the spirit is produced at. Humanity's golden light. The golden ambrosia, spoken about in ancient Greek mythology, is the food of the gods. The pineal gland, I think, is directly attached to one's spinal cord, which represents the trunk of the human body. The human body represents the pine tree. Pineal, pine tree, the Christmas tree in itself is symbolic of the human soul. The ornaments on the Christmas tree come in different colors, symbolizing the chakras. The star on top, symbolizing the crown chakra. Seventh chakra, which is the seventh chakra, code for seventh heaven. The kingdom of heaven is within. Heaven 7. The pineal produces the golden sap, the spirit of the human tree. And that is what the gods feed on, the golden sap. And through our light ensures their own immortality. So yeah, she has the golden pine cone up to her mouth, showing that she is an energy vampire. The eater, eats the spirit. The eaters of souls. So, next picture, so this picture right here shows her face being morphed into that of a praying mantis. Praying mantis, when they mate with males. And I found this interesting because one of these people right here said, "Are you getting ready for a date?" So I thought that was kind of an interesting comment to make. And she laughed at that. It's probably some sort of inside joke. Are you getting ready to eat your next man? Because praying mantis, the female mantis, is known to once they have sex with a male mantis, they eat that mantis. They devour it. In the insect kingdom, it's usually the female that runs things. But in the mammalian side, it's the male. Our species are more, I believe, patriarchal leaning, or at least balance between male and female. So yeah, she's showing herself as a praying mantis, So again, I think that insinuates that she's a host. And then she also has a lot of cat imagery too, of like tigers, kitty cats, tigers, more tigers, right? I mean, a tiger right here, and tiger, and a tiger and dragon hybrid, and I think that image pretty much speaks for itself. So about tigers and cats. So I had to write this all down because if I don't write this stuff down, this attachment on me will make me forget. But I went on so I wrote, she has a lot of cat imagery within her Facebook profile pictures. Tigers are symbolic of the Rakshasa from Hindu or Vedic lore. Said to have, Rakshasas, which are Hindu vampires, are said to have the heads of tigers, shapeshifters, and they're said in the Vedas, the Rakshasas are said to be shapeshifters, man-eaters. In the Bible, there's verses where angels are said to be lion-headed. The Joy of Satan talks about demons coming in the form of cats, too. Cats are a reptilian archetype that symbolizes the reptilian host. Once a legit human being gets hosted by a reptilian, either biologically, like in the way Donald Marshall talks about, with the Vril, or spiritually, the spirits are merged with that of the reptilian. The reptilian either devours the human soul in the process, takes over the pineal gland, which is the seat of the human soul, or it kicks the human soul into the passenger seat of their own vessel. The human being then degrades into a beast in the animalistic form of their former selves. The cat symbolizes this, the merging of the reptilian spirit with that of the mammalian, snakes with furs, the de-evolved human, de-evolved, de-evolved man, which means demon. There's a saying that we've all grown up with, grown up hearing, and that's the saying that cats have 9 lives. I believe this is symbolic for the 9 ages of the zodiac that humanity has to endure through before reaching the golden age of Saturn, which starts at the age of Aquarius and I believe lasts for 3 zodiac ages. The water bearer, water represents a cleansing, and I believe this cleansing is of humanity. The golden age of Saturn represents the harvest of humanity. Humanity is the crop. We are the corn, children of the corn. Created within the false concept of time, chronos, like they talk about in the Mayan creation myth of humanity being made into corn. Well, corn, is the word corn is found in the name chronos, and another word for corn is maize, and the phonetic word for maize, M-I-Z-E, is maze, M-A-Z-E. So we're created within the labyrinth, created within Plato's cave, to be used as a crop for the gods to feed off of. And I think every 9 ages, they harvest humanity, and that's at the start, when this harvesting, when they wipe the slate clean, to prepare for the next harvest will be the start of the golden age of Saturn. And the golden age of Saturn is not humanity's golden age, but the golden age for hybrids and possibly even Jews. Every Jew will have 2,800 slaves when that time comes, until the next harvest. The next 9 zodiac ages will also represent the time of the host, the 9 repeating stories of the cat, the host, the 9 lives. The host takes on different faces throughout each one of these 9 zodiac ages until the next harvest. So reptilians love to wear sunglasses. As you can see here, this girl has kind of like a weird obsession with sunglasses. You'll see a lot of these images on her Facebook profile of sunglasses over her head and shit. And as you can see, she has really dark eyes too. The super dark eyes. And another sign that she's hosted, that she's a host. So, you have the sunglasses over her head, and then she's wearing sunglasses here, and just, here. And then throwing up the V sign, the reptilian V. So reptilians love to wear sunglasses. Vampires are sensitive to light, and they use sunglasses to also hide the reptilian slits that sometimes appear in their eyes. She has a lot of images of Lady Gaga too, and we all know who Lady Gaga is, what she's all about. She's a reptilian, and you'll see her throwing up a lot of V signs too. So about the V sign, the V symbolizes the vampire, vagina. Vagina is intake energy. Penis gives energy. Yin and yang. Black absorbs light. Yang represents the male. Spirit creates. Males create the seed. Women bring the new soul into this universe from another via reincarnation. Reincarnation ties into the multiverse. The womb of the woman represents the wormhole. Womb is also tomb. Death is not the end, but the beginning. We live in Plato's cave, which symbolizes the matriarchy that we all live under. The shadow show on the cave's wall projected by the false light of the Jewish patriarchal god, Yahweh. The shadow show represents the false patriarchy, not the Gentile patriarchy. This is why history is his story of Yahweh, the false light. The Jewish, this is, Yahweh represents, the Jewish patriarchy. The cave itself represents darkness, ignorance, a place where vampires thrive. Outside the cave, it's the real light, a balance between male and female, the Godhead, or or perhaps where the real patriarchy is outside the cave, not in it. You also see that she has a lot of butterfly stuff too, pictures of butterflies. So, one butterfly image right here. The Dark Horse, that reminds me of Katy Perry's song, Dark Horse. I'm coming at you like a dark horse. Some more of the lyrics to that song is, boy, if you want to play with magic, you better know what you're fighting for. It's a curse song against the masculine, because men are the ones that have an internal tie to spirit. We're the true magical users, man. And in Lakota culture, it's the men that engage in magical ceremony, not women, because the woman's spirit is not based in spirit. It's based on the black sun, on the wormhole, the womb hole, the wormhole, the black sun. It's a doorway, a gateway, it's a gateway to a parallel universe. That's what the black sun is. It represents, the female aspect of the soul. It's not spirit. It's not the light. The light represents the masculine. The best magic users on the planet are men. Women are used for spirit contact. Are used for mediums, because it's better, it's easier for spirits to work through women than it is for men, because men have that spirit, have that internal tie to light. So if any spirits, it'd be hard for a spirit to work through a man, because that light defends. But for women, it's easier because their souls are not, they don't have that internal connection to light, but the black sun, and spirits, interdimensional beings, work through that, that black sun energy. And then you'll also see, she's the Holy Bible fucking crap. That pisses me off, man. Jesus crap. And if you come to South Dakota and you meet the Lakota here, and you're around Native Americans, it will be very, let's just say that Christian Native Americans are not common at all. Most Native Americans are not Christian by any mean. A lot of them have a really strong tie to the traditional ways, the pagan ways. Not, a lot of them detest Christian bullcrap. So when you see a Native American that's really, they're Christians and they promote a lot of Christian garbage, that's always a big red flag that you're dealing with a reptilian. And then she has a bunch of pictures of like dinosaur bones too on her profile picture. On her Facebook album, and again, to me that kind of feels like she's given reverence to the reptilians, because the reptilians are said to have evolved, and from dinosaurs, the dinosauroid. So but yeah, last thing I want to touch on before I end this video is these reptilians. This is the second to the last. I have one more picture I want to show you guys after this, but a lot of these reptilians, like to call themselves wolves, wolf in sheep's clothing. Reptilians love to call themselves wolves, but in reality they represent the rat, not the wolf. Wolves represent a noble predator. What controls humanity is not noble, preys upon humanity while hiding in the shadows like a parasite, like a coward. Wolves hunt out in the open, face to face. They represent a level of honor, something that the aliens that control our system do not have. So why use the wolf symbolism? Again, I believe this is a form of spiritual propaganda, a means to program the human mind into believing that they're more powerful than what they truly are. If a human wasn't bound to their matrix, were able to achieve samadhi and become the light beings that we are meant to be, these vampires would burn up. It's likely that our mere presence alone would be enough to destroy them. And then here she has herself merged in with the tiger, showing, flashing the one eye symbolism too at the same time, wearing the crown. That's probably, representing some ownage over the masculine, over men. And then, she has kind of like, and then it has this blue hue over her face, giving her like this blue-eyed appearance, representing, the Aryan. I don't know. I don't know what that connection really means. I think it's another form of spiritual propaganda. These reptilians like to mislead people into believing that it's Aryans or Jews that control the system. They're the ones that are controlling everything behind the scenes. I believe that's a lie. I think the reptilians are, or some other alien species beyond the reptilians that resemble man, that are nothing like human beings. This system is a parasite system. No human being or anything close to being human would build a system like this, and they wouldn't, they would be able to, and they wouldn't live off the backs of human beings, but they would be able to utilize their own light, through source, through Brahma, and obtain their immortality that way. They wouldn't have to do it through humans. So again, I think this is like some sort of, she's like trying to program, the human subconscious. To anyone who looks at this photo, it's like a subliminal of some sort, to make you think, they mislead through symbolism too. They show the truth through symbolism, but they also mislead through it. You have to be careful when you're deciphering this shit. But yeah, I think it's a propaganda. But she's showing you she's a host, a Rakshasa. She's not a real human being. And you have the green feathers down here too, which is, reptilian. And then she shows herself as a frog right here, and this is what I wrote about the frog. Frog face. Frogs also symbolize the host. Boiling frog metaphor. Humanity stuck inside the matrix, the pot, drowning in the waters, or being boiled alive within the waters of their own consciousness. As consciousness itself is symbolized by water, Brahma is found in the youth. The Rakshasa in Vedic lore are said to be the guardians of such, to keep the unchosen from drinking from Brahma's water, to where they would gain immortality through. And they would get back their youth. There's a quote said by Joseph Campbell: the schizophrenic and the mystic swim in the same waters, but the schizophrenic drowns, whereas the mystic swims with delight. Humanity is cut off from consciousness. We don't know how to navigate through it. We don't know how to navigate through the waters of Brahma. Third eye blind, since we do not know the true nature of consciousness, we drown in it or get boiled alive. Once the spirit dies, we are hosted. We become the frogs, the nogs, or the zogs. Frogs say ribbit. Ribbit ties to rabbit. Rabbi. The jaywalkers, being frog people, look like frogs. They look like frogs. So yeah, we've all heard of the saying, you got a frog in your throat for every time someone has a hard time talking. Like in my case, I'm always tripping over my own words. Always had that frog in my throat because of this fucking I don't know if it's a I'm pretty sure it's not a reptilian one. I think this attachment on me is insectoid. But yeah, I have a hard time talking, getting my points across, staying, that frog in my throat is constantly there because of this attachment on me. But anyways, though, they cough, they choke over their own words. This is a sign of being possessed by a reptilian entity on the astral. And that's about it. I think I made my point. Reptilians are all over social media, and they're really making, in a lot of these Native American ones are really making Native Americans look bad. They don't represent us whatsoever, and I fucking hate them with all my heart. And yeah, and they're also white people too. They're also black people. A lot of these really, really racist white people that also happen to be aligned to Freemasonry and Knights Templar These are reptilians, and their main goal, in the case of whites, it's more about demonizing white people than demoralizing, since the Aryan soul itself, somewhat ties to this matriarchy, to the system. Um, so they get the first bite to eat. They are the highest Gentile race in this false racial hierarchy that the reptilians have put out there. And then black people, a lot of these woke blacks that are out there fighting for BLM, that are on social media, being really stupid and making their entire race look so pathetic and weak, are also Masons and reptilians. And normal white people, normal black people are not really stuck on the racist stuff. And they're not, they have a sense of pride about them. They have pride. They don't care about woke politics. They're out there, man. But the ones that are really into the woke crap, the ones that are really into the racist crap, and these are reptilians, hybrids, and the jaywalkers. And they're all over social media too, all over, man. And nobody calls this crap out. Nobody.